What's up, game players? How are you guys doing? I'd like to welcome you all to the Analog Circle podcast, episode number 55. That's right, we're on double fives here, brother. Oh, man, what do I want to say? I don't even know. I guess I'll say, if you want to reach the show, if you feel so inclined, you want to leave some feedback, ask some questions, whatever you feel is real to you. You can reach the show two different ways. One is by phone, and that is 443-261-4607. And the other way is you can email. The email address is the analogcirclepodcast@gmail.com. Also, if you want to check out the podcast, you can find it on Stitcher, iTunes, Audiomack, Google Play, iHeartRadio. It's all over the place. Anyway, moving on from there, guys. You know what? I just want to jump into the feedback, man. I got a little bit this week. Very interesting answers to the question that I asked last week. Now, if you're not aware, last week I was asking you guys the question, would less games flop if there was no used games market? Let me start this off with Mr. Phoenix Up, who had a little bit to say. He says more games would flop because people would not buy as many new games if they couldn't return it, trade it, or sell it. Phoenix Up, I respect that answer. So according to him, he says it would be a bigger flop if it was the market. Well, see, I agree with the not being able to return it. Because once you're locked into something and you can't return it, then that's just a turnoff. That was the thing I did not like about PC gaming when you got the physical. I didn't like the fact that you couldn't take it back to the store if you didn't like it. You were locked in, and that was what it was. But according to Phoenix, he's also saying, being able to trade it or sell it. That's a possibility, brother. I will say that, that could be a big turnoff. You're stuck with this game. That's hence why I still haven't gone completely digital. But I have to say that if that was the case, if people felt that strongly, my argument to that would be, why are people buying more digitally? That would be my question to that. So I definitely respect what you're saying, Phoenix Up, but I can't completely agree with you, brother. I think that it would be a lot better if these game manufacturers at least were able, not the game manufacturers, I mean the developer and the people that are backing the project. I think it would be in their best interest and would help them if they could at least get a cut of the pie. That's what I think. But, I'm not going to dwell on it too much. But Phoenix Up, I respect that, brother. And once again, thank you so much for tuning in. Now, Mr. Pork Chop, what's up, Chop Chop? He says, yeah, I believe something like 15 to 20% of physical sales are paid for with trade-ins. If we removed the used games market, a lot of people wouldn't be able to afford new games. More people would have to wait for sales or just not buy some games at all, resulting in less revenue and less total sales. Pork Chop, man, brother, first let me tell you thank you, man. I really mean this. Thank you for definitely giving your feedback. I appreciate that, and I think it's great, man. But I have to respectfully, and I do say respectfully, Pork Chop, I got to disagree with this, brother. Now, I understand you said it's like 15 to 20% of physical sales are paid for with trade-ins. I got you, brother. And you also, you hinted on something that I want to just kind of delve in on. I want to dive on it a little bit, just splash. Let me dive on this one real quick. Now, you said that, people would have to wait for sales. I'm going to tell you, man, Pork Chop, have you been to Best Buy, brother? I'm telling y'all, Best Buy has some of the best sales, man. I'm telling you, if you take the 20% off, it's not that bad. You got sales that are digital now. I mean, we live in the era where you can catch a game on sale with no problem. And the beautiful thing about the sales are, it doesn't take 9, 10 months, or you gotta just catch it on Black Friday to be able to get that sale. They have these things on sale throughout the whole year. So much so, almost hiccup there. That's why I had that pause in there. So much so that Steam just makes a boatload of money off of it. And my thing is this. I believe that they also feel this way. And this could work either way. With the producers, the developers and the publisher, I think they think that, hey, DLC, I really strongly believe DLC was made strictly to make up for the losses that they would have when it comes down to used game sales, because they're hoping that, hey, if they enjoyed the game so much, maybe, just maybe, they'll get the DLC and we'll be able to eat off of that a little bit. But I have to tell you, I think that, sales are so big right now, and, it's never a case where you can't find some game that you want on sale for the most part. After a while, it happens most of the time. Like I said, I got Final Fantasy 15 on sale. I got Watch Dogs 2 on sale. I got, it's no need of me going through the whole list, trying to keep things in a timely fashion. But Pork Chop, I'm telling you, brother, thank you so much for leaving your feedback. I truly, truly appreciate it, man. Now, lastly, but not least, the veteran, he had to chime in. Matter of fact, God dog it, Jeremy is going to be mad at me. He had, sent me something and I did not get a chance to edit it into the show, for the show. Jeremy, I'm so sorry, brother. I think I'm going to play it at the end though. But Mr. Cody Clark, yes, he chimed in. Let me see if I can find Mr. Clark's answer to this, because it was very interesting. Let's see. There we go. And the name of his email, because he titles them and I love it. He says, and games. He says, people just make up reasons why things do or don't sell. The secondary market doesn't really affect that. They want reasons and control. Nintendo has been fighting rental and used games since they came to market. Saying used games eat new games is like saying new cars suffer from used cars. The games industry itself is growing but also falling over itself due to mobile games and free-to-play stuff. People wait for Steam sales to pick up games 75% off. They wait to get games free on the PSN, because why would you pay $60 for a game when you can get an indie game for $15? Why pay $15 for a game when this other game is $1? Used cards don't affect trading trading card games. The secondary market makes gems of some and doorsteps of others. Technology changes. People move on. Do you think EA cares how many people are selling used copies of Ultima 8 or SSX Tricky? Nah, it's excuse. They need to learn to embrace the culture and find ways to churn up and excite the fans. But stockholders want excuses and PowerPoints. Cody Clark, God dog it, brother. I appreciate this email, and it's pretty loaded. I gotta say, it's actually pretty loaded. What I would say, Cody, is, man, brother, man, I love you. You are cool with me, brother, but I got to disagree, man. I really do. I really think I understand your analogy with the new cars, versus used cars. But the difference with that is, Mastino, used cars are necessary. You could say that, new games are necessary, but cars themselves are necessary. Games, it's a hobby. It's not everybody is into the gaming market, but the cars, yeah, not everybody, but most people need a car. And they get those cars and they drive them because they're lower priced. There's something they can get into. But you also got to think too, in the car industry, it's always a need for new cars. You got some of these places like Lyft that actually have exclusive contracts with GMC. When a new model comes out, they get a boatload of them, quite a few. You have other companies who need company cars where they'll trade them in after 2 years. It's like, okay, they got enough miles on them. Let's get rid of those. Let's get in some new ones. It's to me, in my personal opinion, it's just a different animal. Cars are just such a necessity, where games, like I said, it's not that big of a deal. But I will also say though, Cody, I understand your point about the sales, which to me, hey, if you buy a game on sale, that's great. 75% off. Guess what? That publisher and that developer, they still get to eat off of that. That's all I'm saying. Even if they got to lower the price of some games that aren't great, like you said, Cody, you said it very eloquently. Some games are just used as doorstops. They just don't get the shine. And not all games are worthy of getting 5-star ratings. Not every game is a GTA 5. So some games are going to do much better than others. But my point is that if there was no type of used games market, I just think that more of these publishers and developers would eat and less people would have to go down in flames, brother. That's all. I don't disagree. I do, Cody, and you're my man, 100 grand, brother. But I just can't agree with this one, brother. But as always, trying to keep this thing on track with the time, brother. As always, man, I really appreciate you. You definitely writing in. Thank you so much. And if you want to be part of the conversation, all you gotta do is email the show or call. But time is starting to slip and tick. And you know what, guys? We gotta get into it. Because I didn't play much this week. I just played Watch Dogs 2. It was okay. It wasn't bad. It was pretty cool. I enjoyed it so far. I'm not going to give it a score. Didn't get enough time in with it. But that's what I'm basically on. I'm juggling several different games, y'all. Several at once. But anyway, let's go ahead and get past that, man. And let's get into the gaming news that went down. Now, starting out with a little bit of Spider-Man. Spider-Man does whatever a spider can news. Now, if you're a fan of Spider-Man, then no doubt you have been excited about the new Spider-Man game being developed by Insomniac for PlayStation 4. Now, we haven't really heard any news about this game since it happened at E3. It premiered until now. Yes, in a live stream captured by a Reddit user, Mr. Ryan Penagos, who is the vice president and executive editor of Marvel Digital Media, confirmed that Spider-Man will be coming to the PlayStation 4 later this year. Now, there's even more. This is a quote from him. He says there's even more on the horizon for 2017, like Spider-Man coming to PlayStation 4 and Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite coming to PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and Windows PC, end of quote. Whoa! Now, it's one thing to note, and you guys probably picked up on it, he never gave a specific date, but he did say the game is coming out this year. My goodness! Sony, what are you doing? They are flooding the market. I mean, this Spider-Man game, I'm not even big into Spider-Man. I could care less about Homecoming. It doesn't matter to me. But this game, God dog, I'm sweating. Man, I am really sweating, brother. It's hot. But this game right here looks so good. At E3, I was so excited. God, dog, when he jumped on the doggone car and pulled the dude out and then took the web sling and slung back up from the car, I was like, whoa, I need this right away. So, PlayStation, they continue to kill it this year. And I'm so excited. It's not even anything else more I need to add to this, people. Moving on to the next story. Now, if you're an Xbox One owner and do enjoy reading comic books, you will be happy to know that the new IDW Comics app is available and brings the full IDW Comics catalog to your console. And for the first week, you can download 10 specific volumes at no charge. Now, the comics available are both standard and motion books. Now, some of the books available are Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Volume 1, Lock and Key Volume 1, Dave with a 4 in there, man, he sounds important, Ghostbusters Volume 1, Transformers Red Volume 1, Judge Dredd Volume 1, etc. Now, in the future, the app will also add exclusive content and the ability to purchase IDW-owned TV episodes and movies in the future. This is pretty cool. I haven't really been in the comics since the Image era, you know, Spawn and Wildcats and, I forgot the other dude, Dragon something. He was dope. You know, that was just so great. I used to love Image. But anyway, for any of you guys that want to read the comics on the console, here you go. Moving on into some more news. Now, I'm going to ask you guys a question. Do you guys remember last year a game being developed by Volition called Agents of Mayhem? Where the basic concept is you're able to swap between different characters on the fly with unique weapons and abilities. Do you guys remember that? You probably do, because if you looked at E3 like I did last year, that doggone commercial for that game came on like every 20 minutes. It was crazy. But anyway, guess what though? At an event last week, publisher Deep Silver revealed at an event that the game will release on August 15th and will release on PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and PC. Now, for any of you guys that are Saints Row fans like myself, I didn't get into the Saints Row series until like 3, because the first 2, I just didn't feel them. But if you are a fan of Saints Row, then Mr. Pierce Washington will be a playable character in the game. I tell you, I'm very excited for this. You know, from what I heard, it's kind of being likened to Saturday morning cartoons. You know, these superheroes. You got somebody that's Hollywood and he's turned into a real action superhero and whatnot. I'm pumped up, man. I feel good that Volition didn't pigeonhole themselves into just being the people that make Saints Row. That they're doing something in the vein of Saints Row-esque kind of the style of gaming, but I appreciate the fact that at least they're trying to get away from that a little bit and spread their wings just a taste. So I'm excited to see how this turns out. Matter of fact, I was reading an article from Polygon, who actually got an hour and a half times on with this game, and they said that it could be a big sleeper hit for 2017, so I'm looking forward to seeing what Volition brings to the table. They have a pretty good track record so far, so we'll see how it goes with this to see if they can continue having a good track record. Just another game in 2017 to get ready to take up a whole lot of your time, and god darn, this is crazy. Moving on though. Now, if you have been interested in trying Dishonored 2, it will be free to play this weekend on the PC through Steam, of course. You'll also be able to play it on PlayStation 4 and Xbox One. Now, Bethesda also said that if you decide to purchase the game, your progress will carry over after the trial period ends. Now, I did read you'll have access to the first 3 levels of the game, and I appreciate them doing this. Matter of fact, I like the fact that some games that may not have been big sellers at the time. They kind of, had to take a back seat. They kind of got overshadowed by some games that came out that year. I like the fact that this happens. This really can bring someone in. I know it happened with, what was the game? Recore. It happened with Recore. You got some hands-on time with it through a demo. And also just recently, the most recent game it happened to outside of Dishonored 2 was Mafia 3. That is now free to download. It has a demo on the PlayStation 4 and the Xbox One, which is wonderful because I thought the game, even though repetitive, yes, but the story and gameplay, I enjoyed it thoroughly. So I definitely implore any of you guys, tell you, please, go out there, download that Mafia 3 as well as Dishonored 2. Think I'm going to take them up on this one, folks, and see what happens. Anyway, moving on to the next story. Now, this is some VR news. In VR news, the once PlayStation VR exclusive Batman Arkham VR will be coming to the PC for the Oculus Rift and HTC Vive on April 25th and will support Touch and Vive controls, as well as Xbox One, DualShock 4, and Steam controls. So for any of you guys that have these very expensive VR peripherals, get ready to have a great time. Put on the crowd, a cow, I don't know what you call Batman's mask, but get ready to put that thing on and go into some VR and have a good darn time. Moving on to this story right here. Whoa. Okay, let me tell you guys something. In more news, man. A name that has not been heard in quite some time. A man who has always had huge, lofty goals when it comes to designing games and has fallen short a little bit. With due respect to this guy, he's fallen a little short. The man behind games like Black and White and Fable. I'm sure when you heard Fable, I know you guys picked up on who I'm talking about. Yes, Mr. Peter Molyneux has resurfaced. I haven't heard from this brother in I don't know how long. Now, not only that, he is actually working on a new project that is set to be called Legacy. Now, Molyneux did say that he isn't sharing much more info until he's good and ready. Now, this is the quote that he said. He says, I think it would be a mistake to talk about it while interviewing with Glixel. Now, wait a minute. Pause, brother. Pause. Wait a second. Now, Peter Molyneux, some of you guys might not be familiar with this guy. Peter Molyneux would promise us game players the daggone world, the moon, the stars, and the quasars, telling us all of this off-the-wall incredible stuff that would happen, in Fable. It's going to be a world, and I can't do the accent, but he just promised way too much, and we would be all excited, pumped up like, oh man, brother, that sounds really, really good, Pete. And we get the game, and it's like, wait a minute. It's a couple details missing. All I'm going to say is look up the video of Connect when it was first shown off. And who was the little boy? I can't even think of his name. God dog it. Somebody out there screaming it. But when what he did, okay, it was showing off the Connect for the first time. And the little boy, he had a real piece of paper, not virtual. It was a real piece of paper, and he acted like he slipped it to the kid that was virtual, and he was reading it, and everybody was eating it up. I'm not gonna lie, I'm like, holy cow, he actually handed a virtual person a real piece of paper with something written on it. This is incredible. Well, I'm gonna tell you, that game never came out. It never happened. I don't know what happened to Milo. That's who it was, Milo. And, so Peter Molyneux, he's just been known to say a lot, but it seems like he's learned his lesson because, like he said, he thinks it would be a mistake to talk about it, but it goes on though. However, Peter did mention a few bite-sized morsels about the game. Now, he mentioned he's staying platform agnostic at this point in the development process, but he's designing the game. This is another thing. He's designing the game with a mouse in mind based on personal preference. He also said it's difficult to say what genre Legacy falls into at this early stage of its creation, and that it may not share any genre with any of his previous projects. That was it. So either way, this game Legacy, it's being developed by Mr. Peter Molyneux. Believed he said he was going to be doing the coding for it as well. But it's great to see him back on the scene. I'm not going to lie, man. Look, he might not have, delivered on the games. He might have really promised a little too much that he just couldn't deliver on. But I say, hey, man, you got to be a big dreamer. You got to be. People love that stuff, but I mean, you can't do that forever, though, without people starting to call you bluff, because I believe Molyneux went missing, had to be about 3 years ago. It's been a minute where somebody was grilling him in an interview, and I mean, it was just bad. It was so sad. I felt bad for Molyneux. I mean, the guy was asking hard questions, and he just would not let up, so... oh, man, it just didn't go too well. But anyway, Molyneux's back. Stay tuned for Legacy. Let's see what happens. Moving on to the next story. Now, actually, this ain't even a story. Just on a side note, man. Were any of you guys aware, because I darn sure wasn't, were any of you guys aware that Zelda Breath of the Wild is playable on the PC? Via Cemu? It's called CEMU, Cemu or Kimu? Wii U emulator? I mean, yeah, it's actually on there. Now it's also something else I did not know. Now, yes, it is illegal. I mean, to obtain a copy of the game for Cemu over the internet. But the thing is that if you own a copy of the Wii U version already, then it doesn't seem to be illegal if you have an actual copy of the game. So I'm not promoting going out there and buying illegal copies from Cemu. But if you do have a PC and you want the absolute best performance, because I heard it's actually running in 4K right now on the PC. Craziness, man. Can't believe it, but it's happening. Wow. Anyway, it blew me for a loop, brother. Moving on to the next story, though. Man. Now, even though Destiny 2 doesn't have an official date, there has been some news leaked by a GameStop employee about the sequel's DLC plans. Now, it says the Destiny 2 expansion pass includes reservations for both Expansion 1 and 2, which will be released in winter of 2017 and spring of 2018, respectively. Now, the expansions offer brand new story missions, cooperative activities, competitive multiplayer, and a wealth of new weapons, armor, and gear. So for any of you guys that had any question, will Destiny 2 have DLC? Hey, brother, there is your answer, and there ain't much more to say about it. Moving on to the next story, back into a little bit of VR news. I'm all wobbly with my words, but if you're interested in buying a HTC Vive, you will want to wait until April 5th, which HTC is calling Vive Day, because it's the anniversary date of the Vive. Now, during that day, you will be able to purchase the VR headset for $100 less, whoop-de-whoop, than the original price. And you will receive a free copy of Arcade Saga, which features 3 action games meant to show off the technology. Now, not only that, but also, on the same day, Vive Day, HTC will be launching the Vive Port subscription, which is a new way for customers to sample VR software for $6.99 a month. where customers can select 5 titles to play over and over. Or if you want to swap them out for other titles monthly, you can do that as well. Now, right now, Vive Ports has more than 50 titles to choose from. So for any of you guys that want to, god dang, HTC Vive is what, $800, man? So you'll be able to get it for the very low price, of $700. Pay $7 a month, get 5 titles for, not free, but to choose from. Anyway, that's about it for this one. But, moving on into the next story, a little bit of Xbox news, which is a doozy. Now, all of us have been waiting in anticipation. Well, maybe not all of us, because some of y'all might be PlayStation lovers out there. Nothing wrong with that. But, me, myself, I've been waiting in anticipation. But, you may be wondering what is going on with the Scorpio. Well, like I said, people are waiting in anticipation to get to know more about this Project Scorpio. Well, folks, we just may be getting some info a little sooner than we think. Now, this is according to Windows Central, and I quote, "A major gaming outlet," end quote. I don't know, but that's what they said. They actually visited Microsoft's headquarters recently to learn about the final specs of the console in preparation for, end of quote, a planned exclusive blowout of a coverage. Man, what the heck am I reading here, man? Anyway, look, listen, man. Okay, all right, long and short version, brother. The short version is we could actually be getting some news about the Scorpio this week. It could be dropping some real serious specs, what we can expect from the console, maybe even, this is probably pushing it because I don't think they should do this before E3, but it's possible we may even get to see what it looks like. Who knows? But the bottom line is be on the lookout this week for some Xbox Scorpio gaming news. Now, the website, Windows Central, they're actually saying possibly be on the lookout on Thursday. We may be getting some real juicy info on Thursday. We'll see. Anyway, God dog, I can't wait for that. But I'm moving on. Hope it's true. Who misses, I'm gonna ask y'all another question. Who misses Jak and Daxter? Anyone? Maybe not, but I kind of do. Well, guess what? Game players, I'm just going to tell you this from my heart. Jak is coming back. Yeah, he's coming back, but not as a sequel. But the games will be remastered in 1080p, so not a full remake, but an up-render. Now, the games will include Jak and Daxter, the Precursor Legacy, Jak 2, Jak 3, and Jak X Combat Racing. Now, Jak X will support split screen play, but not online. Now, these titles will be available on the PlayStation Store individually, but it's been no word as to if these games could be sold in a collector's package. And by the way, they will be releasing sometime this year. Oh, goodness. Sony is they just won't be denied. They just won't. This is great. I'm really looking forward to it. Jak and Daxter. Make it a collection. Make it a $50, $40, $60 collection. There's quite a few games in there. I think that would be the best way to do it. Don't piecemeal it out. Then again, I can understand, hey, if you want to put it on the store, go ahead and do that. Have a good time. People can choose what they want to choose, what game was their favorite. I get it, but give them choices. Some people like myself, I would like to have all of them. Just give them all to me. I'll pay you the $60. It's whatever. Well, $50, but you know what I'm saying. Anyway, whew. And some, yeah, this is sad. And some unfortunate news. Darn. Mad Cats. I know y'all gotta know Mad Catz, man. Who they've been known for making gaming accessories for forever. 28 years, actually. Well, they actually filed bankruptcy in the U.S., ending their, like I said, 28-year streak in the industry. They filed Chapter 7 bankruptcy, in which assets are sold to pay off debts. So it looks like Mad Catz is unfortunately going under, and it's nothing much that can be done. It doesn't look like anybody's gonna try to bail them out or anything. So, man, heck of a accessory leader is gone. I know they were saying they had big hopes, and they were really gambling on Rock Band 4 really making a big splash, because they were going to be doing their accessories. But since that game didn't do so well, they really took the brunt of that, and as a result, they got it shut down. So very sad news, very unfortunate. I really hope these guys bounce back and can, the individuals themselves can bounce back and find other jobs somewhere else. But, that just about does it, guys. That's about it this week. Now, real quick now, God dog, now, this just in, man. You know how I told you guys that, be on the lookout for Microsoft, Xbox, Scorpio, and all of that good stuff this week. Well, just to kind of put a little cherry on the top now, it's more rumors swirling around about the Scorpio and what will be demoed on it to show off its power. Now, I'm going to tell you guys this, you please take this with a mustard seed grain, don't put too much stock in this, okay? Cause I don't want y'all to say you lied to us and that stuff wasn't true. But this is what they are saying is going to be shown off to show the power of the Scorpio. Hence, here we go. Here's the list. They're going to show off Star Wars Battlefront 2. That would be dope to see. They're going to show off Forza Motorsport 7, which is already being reported to be running in true native 4K. That sounds plausible as well. Nothing too crazy. But this is when I have to put on my daggone ABS brakes, brother. They are also reporting that Red Dead Redemption 2 will be shown as well on the Scorpio. That's when the doggone red light went off and said, you gotta pause. Wait a second. I don't think that's gonna happen. If that happens, that's gonna happen at E3. It is no doubt, it's no doubt in my mind, if they have that card to play, they're gonna do that at E3. Now I understand Rockstar doesn't do E3, and that's what people are saying. Well, Rockstar never shows up to E3. They're bigger than E3. Yeah, I get that, brother, but I think they are way too big to be just going out there with the Scorpios allegedly supposed to be leaking some specs, or not even leaking, but talking about the specs and what it can do later on this week. I just don't see that happening, but that's what the rumors are so far. So we'll see what happens, but man, that is about it. That's about it. Oh, and I'm going to tell you the reason why, real quick, just to kind of back up to that last story. The reason why they think that this is true is because the marketing materials acquired by the site that they saw suggested that would be the case. So they're going off of the marketing material. So who knows, man? I don't know. This week, it'll be Thursday soon. We'll see what happens, and I hope that it's all true. It would make for a heck of a great gaming media day, no doubt about it. Whole lot to talk about. But anyway, that is going to do it this week for the gaming news. But that's okay. You guys stay tuned. Matter of fact, we're not going to do that. We're not going to do that this week. we're not going to do the video game theater or anything. I want to try to shorten the show a little bit, So, instead of doing that, I just want to get into asking you guys the question of the week. Now, my question to you guys is this. It's a really good question, I think, because, man, I think it's just shaping up to be amazing. But my question that I have for you guys this week is, do you think, in your personal opinion, is 2017 this gen's 2007? Now, 2007 is always the year game players want to bring up. 2007 had Assassin's Creed. 2007 had BioShock. 2007 had Mass Effect. It was the greatest year of that generation of gaming. I want to know, 2017 to me seems to be a whole lot more loaded than 2007. This year, let me read this list. Hold on. This year, so far, and now, God darn, this is a little longer than I was expecting. But this year, so far, we've had Gravity Rush 2. We've had Resident Evil 7. We've had Yakuza 0. We've had Neo. We've had For Honor, which some people enjoyed. But we had Horizon Zero Dawn come out. We've had Nier Automata. We've had Mass Effect Andromeda, Persona 5, Ukulele's coming out. Prey is coming out. Prey is coming. Red Dead Redemption 2 is supposed to be allegedly still coming. We got Uncharted The Lost Legacy DLC coming. State of Decay, Crackdown 3. I mean, the list keeps going. So my question to you guys is, once again, is 2017 this gen's 2007? I want to thank you guys so much for taking your time out to listen to the podcast. And please, please, please understand, I want to talk to y'all really quickly, very quickly. The last thing I want to do is make a show, a podcast, a gaming podcast, where it's taking up too much of your time. I appreciate all of you guys tuning in every week. And just as a courtesy, not even a courtesy, but just being cognizant of people's time, I want to shorten this show. I definitely want to shorten it. I don't want to make it an hour, 15 minutes, hour, 20 minutes. Talked to a couple of people and they gave me some very, very good advice. So I think I'm going to try to keep it to about between a half to 45 minutes. I think it shouldn't be any longer than that. It's just me. I be rambling. So that's why the show is a lot shorter this week. That's why it's no video game theater. Just want to give you guys the news so you can get it and you can move on with your day, because I appreciate y'all downloading the show, listening to it, and telling your friends about it. So with that being said, I would love to get the feedback from you guys as a whole. Do you guys agree that the show should be between 30, 45 minutes? I don't even want to really hit the hour mark. I want to keep it way below an hour. So definitely leave your feedback. You can leave the feedback at the Analog Circle Podcast at gmail.com or call it in at 443-261-4607. Once again, I was your host, Keon Mitchell. Thank you guys again from the bottom of my heart bone. And until next week, because we're going to do it again. But until then, you guys take care. Remember, hey, before I go, Bulletstorm comes out this week, god dog it. Y'all make sure that y'all go out there, support that game. Please support it. I'm getting it on Friday. That's when it comes out. The game is awesome. I'm telling you, it's great. I was looking at a article in Polygon that said that it could possibly get a sequel if this one sells well. So please go out there and support it. And with that being said, you guys take care. Play the games, brother. Forget the darn console. It's about the games, brother. You guys take care. Be safe out there. Bye-bye.
The initial movie release and then also the DVD release. So they're making their money. So even when things get pirated, then I don't think they really care. They may say it because it is taking money out of their pockets, but not so much where the studio will go in the red because of pirating. So I think it's the same way with games. I think that they already have it factored in with the price of the game, that even if the game is sold at like GameStop, or even if people just sell games to each other, they're not going to really be hurting because they factored in the price of everything into that price of that game. That's just what I was thinking. But another thing that I mentioned was, like, it would be interesting that if there was like a one-time fee to load the game onto your system, or like once you play the game there was a one-time fee, like maybe $1 or something. So that way it would guarantee that even if that game was sold to somebody else, or through GameStop or however way it's sold, the new owner of it will still be contributing to that studio, so that they will still be making their money. I think that would be, I don't think the cost would be too bad. Nobody wants to pay more. And, I'm not for all this taxation and double tax and a tax thing that's already been taxed. That's not what I'm about. But in order to look out for the studios, if they needed to get some relief from companies reselling their game, then I think that would be a fair way to do it.
Oh, by the way, Peter Molyneux was not the one on stage showing off Milo. It was a female who was the one doing the demo. Just wanted to clear that up. Thanks. Peace.